when students are applying, I think the term is signaling or something.
Signaling,
and so tell us about that and the pros and cons.
You go first. You want me to go first?
Either way.
Okay. I like signaling a lot.
Same.
A ton. Okay. Now I think we picked 20 this year. That's
20.
maybe too many.
Yeah, I wasn't in favor of 20, but
I voted for 8 to 10.
Same.
Okay.
Meaning a student could
so
signal.
8
20.
to 10 or up to 20.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I know.
Yeah.
So I think that what we're supposed to do is use it for interviews, and that's what we use it for. When we go back to do ranking, at this stage, we really don't really interview anybody who didn't signal. I mean, there's enough signals there, and we're only interviewing a little over 50 people. So that signal is a strong representation, and this year it'll be for sure. I think, when you looked at the data for some of the ortho and OB-GYN, and they had data from the other programs, the way I remember it was that, and maybe I got it wrong, but it was that the number of signals, if the signals went up, it didn't really hurt. There were some advantages to it and not a lot of disadvantages. I think it's harder for
To the student or the program?
to both,
Okay.
but to the student it was a definite advantage.
Yes.
Definite advantage. The more, and to the PDs, it makes our decision a little harder on who we have to interview. I'm being a little facetious with that, so in case you can't tell. So we have more choices, but I think our specialty now is competitive. So we're not struggling to get residents anymore.
Right.
Maybe 15 years ago it was a little different. So I think having the signal, I like it overall, and it forces the student to say, all right, this is one of my top 10 or top 20. But if somebody really wants to come to my program and I didn't make their top 20, really?
That's true.
Why?
Yeah, I think, it's probably it's kind of like the Tinder equivalent of swiping one direction versus the other, I think, in terms of programs.
What does that mean?
We'll have a side podcast about that. But I think it's about kind of showing elevated interest in a program. And I think from a program director's side, that's really what we're trying to assess when I'm reading through an application is fit. How is this resident going to fit with the team that I currently have? How is this resident going to fit career interest with the program that we have? And kind of where does this resident applicant want to go in the long term? And so I think having the signal shows kind of elevated, heightened interest in our program a priori, which I think is really helpful. That said, it's not a guarantee. And so we have people who have signaled us who we don't interview. We have had people who didn't signal us that we thought would actually be a really good fit for our program. Some of them have actually matched into our program. So, I would say for us the signaling has helped. It's not a perfect end all be all, but I think trying to expect that any one system is perfect in residency application is probably the wrong way to go about it. I think the increase to 20 makes it a little tougher because it kind of dilutes that interest a little bit. Because
Definitely.
when we were, you're signaling 5 programs or 8, you kind of know there's a really good chance that you're going to potentially match this person. When it goes to 20, that odds kind of go down, and it goes down on both sides. And so I think, one of the challenges that we've kind of had on the program director side, at least for me, I don't want to speak for Mike, is we've kind of changed a lot of things over the years in the last 5 years. And so every year kind of the number of signals has changed. We've kind of needed to react to that. There's been changes to standardized letters of evaluation. So there's been a lot of changes in the last 5 years that have kind of caused some ripples in the landscape of how do you apply to PM&R. And I think on the same side that our applicants are trying to navigate it, program directors are trying to do the same.